I am Tony. This is my man Dion.
What's up?
This is The Couch. We'd like to welcome you guys back. This segment right here is called The Background Check. We've been having lots of fun with this.
Yep.
Quite a bit of fun. The album for review for conversation today is Arsonists as the World Burns. Burns.
Oh my God.
Yo.
The Arsonists.
Yo, so first off, man, okay, I'm a bit slacking on my research here. I want to say that the Arsonists as the World Burns album came out in 1996.
Maybe right.
Oh, you're right on that, right?
Maybe right.
I want to say it came out around 96, 97 maybe, you know what I'm saying, around those times.
I think the album, I think it came out, honestly, came out in 2004. Like, initially was like a mixtape of other tracks, and then Matador Records picked them up, and then they actually put it back out, and then it came out again in 2004 as The World Burns.
Man, I'm fucked up. I'm hella fucked up, man. Goddamn, doing this show, I should know my shit.
You're good, man.
As the World Burns by the Arsonists is a New York collective rap group who were integral in the part of creating or maintaining that New York sound, if you will. You with me on that? That East Coast flavor sound. They really held it down as far as keeping that alive. That two turntables, one mic, cats freestyling, spitting writtens, animated, doing their thing. You know what I mean? The Arsonists as the World Burns, for me personally, has to be one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's up there. It's not even past 10. Like, it's in my top 5 best hip hop albums of all time. You know what I mean? I really liked going back to this one, man. This album was so dope. Monkey, where you at, Monkey? Right? That's the intro to Pyromaniacs, which is actually kind of introing the album a little bit. One of the first tracks on the album. And this track is high energy, animated, patterns and flows.
Circuses in town, like, pretty much, you know, they go on this lyrical just journey with you, man, and you just like, damn, you can't believe the shit is coming out of these cats' mouth. They're just flowing it, throwing it out there, man, and putting words together. It's just like you can't help but not, you know, you can't help but feel the energy and, you know, get down with the, you know, getting down with it. So,
you know, when I was listening to the record, man, I was excited about listening to the record. It kept me nostalgic and, you know, thought about that golden era of hip hop. And in that, man, I kind of got sad a little bit too, man, because you don't hear cats coming like this. Not even inspired by these dudes. These guys go way under the radar. I think that underground heads know who the Arsonists are. You motherfucking better know who the Arsonists are if you're an underground hip hop head. They are also integral in that movement as well. The underground hip hop movement, if you want to call it. Like, you know, hip hop was all over the world. You know, you had Redman, you had Public Enemy, everybody was getting their shine. And then something happened in the Jiggy era or something like that, when, you know, the Shiny Suit era, where it kind of, and then those characters ended up going on a sub-level, you know what I'm saying? You know, and those cats ended up going into a sub-level, and then this stuff started getting, you know, all of the shine. And the Arsonists, I think, are one of those gatekeepers who were showing people the fundamentals of underground hip hop. I want to throw those quotations out there because I don't want to put it. It's just the easiest way to explain that type of. You say hip hop, you're like, oh, 3 6 Mafia? No. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop,
Yeah, and these cats, I mean, like I said, you know, there's 3 members, I think now. It used to be 5, and then at one point in time there was 8. It was like Destroy, Jice One, and then Q Unique, who's actually a
major producer,
but also a member of Rocksteady Crew. You know what I'm saying? And so that influence as well helped with pushing along. You know.
Another cool thing that I like about the Arsonists is that they were a group of hip-hop purists. Like you were saying, Q Unique was a part of the Rocksteady Crew. There was graphers in there were DJs, MCs, and they all came together as a collective, as a super group, if you will.
Absolutely.
And man, changed the landscape of hip hop. I feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that you can't talk about hip hop, especially modern underground hip hop, without speaking about the Arsonists, yo. And it's a shame that these guys kind of dispersed and kind of dissolved through, you know what I mean, and weren't able to still stay formidable.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's. I think they're still, you know, out there doing. I know Q Unique and I believe Joyce One are still doing like solo.
Yeah. I think that one of those guys is on like Uncle Howie Records and shit. Yeah, I'm with that.
But yeah, like I said, those tracks, man, that just keep it going. Like the Underground Vandal.
Oh my God!
That track here, and basically, what you told me, man.
The Underground Vandals track is a masterpiece for me. You see all kinds of artists, you know, painters and you know, graffiti artists doing murals of all the greats in hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's great. That's beautiful. They're beautiful. I've seen the T-shirts. I got the posters. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. But you rarely hear a cat get on the mic and give up props to all the cats that he shares that same pool with. If you listen to that track today, you'll know if you're ahead. You'll know exactly who the fuck everybody is, and all those cats are still doing their thing today.
Absolutely, and it's a history lesson for anyone who don't know who those motherfuckers are. You take that track and you do your research and get your roots and get your shit together and know it.
This is another thing I want to say on this track as well. Hip hop for me has been a communication tool where you can speak to other individuals that don't live where you live.
Right.
You know, and when you were talking about it being a history lesson, if you are interested in learning about hip hop, who you should be peeping, who you should be copping, the albums, the artists that you should be following, listen to Underground Vandals, and you will, and just cop every cat that dude is talking about, and you will have a complete hip hop collection, man. That album, that track is so dope in paying homage, and hip hop nowadays too is so mind braggadocious. I can't show love that you would rarely even hear a track like that now. The only time you hear a cat giving out props is because it's going to benefit them.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? On some bullshit. You know what I mean? And like, I really enjoyed that Underground Vandals because it was props at its best, at its finest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another one as well that kind of gives another view of, you know, the old school tracks, you know what I'm saying, was the time travel that Q Unique did.
Oh my God,
he starts with the track with the, you know what I'm saying, and he just goes from one, you know, basically
one era to another.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the futuristic side that he did, man, he blew the futuristic shit out of the water. Like, ain't shit sounding like that today.
I know.
I don't know nobody who's freaking shit like my man was on that time travel joint. That time travel track was an exhibition of pattern, flow, style, time. That is an MC's dream right there. The time travel track, man. I really, really dug that. Again, another history lesson for young, up-and-coming artists or music enthusiasts where maybe this album and some other albums might have flew under your radar, you know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to Time Travel and Underground Vandals, and if you listen to those two tracks, you'll have a really good gist on how it goes down, you know what I mean?
Hip Hop 101, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's, you know, this album here is just chock full of great things, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lunchroom,
Take Out.
Like for me, you know, and I mean, obviously for you too, but, you know, the Lunchroom is where it started for me, you know, as far as hip hop, as far as even putting myself out there to let people know I'm even doing something, you know what I'm saying? Well, man, G Money giving you a shout out there because your ass is funny. We used to do that back in the days, you know, get in there and he used to do the beats, and every once in a while he'd go in there and flow, and I used to mess with him because he used to say manifest like 500 times while he's freestyling. Manifest, I manifest. I can say, man, don't beat my ass because I brought you out. But the Lunchroom joint, man, I say, it's classic, and it was a stepping stone for me as an MC, and you know, and I'll always cherish that. And anytime I hear something like that, it makes me.
Can I do a slight backstory on the lunchroom?
Right.
So for the viewers, the lunchroom was basically a simulation of cats like my man Dion and myself, early rap enthusiasts. When we were coming up, we would be at school at the cafeteria in the lunchroom, and they have these like fucking particle board tables and shit that was, you know, was laminate on the top of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we would get like a cipher going. You know what I'm saying? On at the lunchroom, and so you'd have one dude who would be sitting maybe at the head of the table, or maybe at the corner of the table, and he'd be banging on the lunch table, creating a beat, and then young characters like myself and like Dion would then start to flex their chops against these other MCs. Sometimes it's a battle, sometimes it's just flexing lyrics. Yeah. And the lunchroom track on this album brought me right back to being at the lunchroom in, you know, 6th grade, 5th grade, trying to, you know, your mom's this, and you know what I mean, and just trying to diss homies, trying to create a rep for yourself as an MC, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I was that dude that snuck in there and said some slick shit, and then back out.
Yep.
Where'd he go? You know, so I even got my first hip hop name from the ciphers. You know,
all right, hold on. So, what was your first hip hop name, homie?
I was now because there's a cat out there. With respect to him, man, but it's D-Intellect.
D-Intellect, huh?
Yeah, D-Intellect.
Intellect.
Yeah. Intellect.
Hold up.
You know what I'm saying? So it was D-Intellect. Yeah. N-T-L-E-K.
Right.
I had an airbrush on my jacket, and someone in a cipher gave me that joint. So that was the one I was rocking with all the time.
Right.
And so that was
old hip hop names. That's cool. We have to do a segment one day.
Oh yeah.
Old hip hop names and shit.
I got too many. I'm like Method Man. I got way too many.
Right.
Aliases.
You know, another thing that I want to touch on this album before we get deeper is the album art. When I was comping records, you generally saw, as far as album art goes, it was the artists on the cover, on the front cover of the actual album, and you got to see who you were, who you could associate, who was rapping and all of that shit, you know? This album cover was actually pure artwork, you know? And I actually feel like it was cutting edge because I think they were using a lot of computer technology in creating this artwork. It wasn't just like a drawn out piece. It looks like it was, you know, had some computer work to it. Which also, I'm sure gave light to the Master P album, because there's No Limit album covers and the Rap A Lot album covers.
Oh my God.
Sick With It album covers, you know, where they were very superimposed, computer technology photoshopped and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was just, you know, in the record store when this album came out back in the day, and I actually had no idea who the fucking Arsonists were at all. Right? I was just living under a rock at the time, and I was just at the record store, and I just saw the album art. I just saw the album art, and I was like, "As the World Burns, the Arsonists, as the World Burns with the album art, I had to cop that. I had to cop that. I'd like to throw something out there for the viewers. I would like to see a reissue on vinyl of the Arsonists as the World Burns, colored vinyl. That would be so ill. Let's try to put that out into the universe, man." That album needs to be reissued to where the youngins, the people were that really flew under the radar, they really need to see this, because this is hip hop 101. That's what the album should have been called in the first one.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it is. It's definitely something that anybody who, like I said, I'll repeat, but man, anybody who's ever done anything hip hop wise needs to have that album somewhere in their library and know when you bring up a verse or you bring up something like, oh yeah, that's that Arsonist shit, right?
Yes.
Like I said, there's every track on there. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to, you know, to
isolate one track.
Exactly,
to talk about.
because it's just they just went off on all the tracks. There was not a track that I heard that anyone came off or anything. I mean, they just spit lyrics and it was, you know, they just went at it. It was one of my favorite albums, and you know, I've been listening to it over and over for this review, and you know, just like bringing a little light back into your life. You know what I'm saying? Loving what you do, and then realizing, you know, that you got these roots, these things that are really keeping hip hop alive. And Arsonist is one of those things that, As the World Burns was one of those albums that, you can always reflect from, you can always still learn from, how to flip it, how to do it right, So.
Oh yeah, Jimbo's theme was amazing, bro. The wordplay, the topic choice, where it just let your mind kind of be whimsical and just be all off into the middle of nowhere. It was a really good song, and it was crazy to see. It was also a breath of fresh air, because these guys were so rigid in their wordplay on the album, and then a track like Jimbo's theme, where there's no format to it at all. He's just going nuts. You know what I mean? It was really cool, really cool. I really enjoyed with this album as well how each song was relevant.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Each song was relevant. How Frenemies, Venom, Blaze, all these songs are heartfelt, introspective songs to a degree. You know what I mean? But held on the surface to where it's hardcore and it's on the level.
Right. And these cats produced their own shit. All of
wow. Everything was done in-house.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, like I said, you saw freestyle joints. You saw Q-Unique in the production credits. I mean, these cats did everything all one contained unit. You know what I'm saying? And it shows, man. Everything from the lyrics, from the beats, like I said, from the artwork. It's hip hop 101.
Right. I want to retract back to the beginning and say again, I apologize for the time lapse as far as 96 to 2004.
Right.
This album just gives me that feel of when hip hop was golden and it was pure, and these individuals were knights of hip hop, bro, for real. The Arsonist for me, man, is an amazing album. In wrapping up here, is there anything that you want to add? Any last thoughts about this album right here, my man?
I think anyone who calls himself a hip hop head or rapper, MC, or graph artist, anybody, breakdancer, they need that. They better have it at their house. Like if I call it a background check.
Right.
If I come to your house and ask you if you got the Arsonist and you don't have it, then we checking your ass off.
Well, y'all get y'all copies real soon here before Dion come to the house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For me, man, I actually agree with you 150%, bro. This album is top notch. And I want to get to a background check one of these days where we listen to an album that sucks.
Yeah, because it's hard to do that.
It's hard to do that. This album is pivotal in the building of in modern hip hop, the hip hop that we're listening to right now, the underground hip hop that we're listening to. I hate to clarify. The Arsonists are the forefathers of this stuff, man. If you are ahead, if you're interested in hip hop, if you don't know who to cop the Arsonists as the World Burns. It's a great album. You won't be disappointed with it. The wordplay, the beat selection, the topic choices. And they just don't make hip hop like this anymore, man. They just don't. Big up, long live Arsonists as the World Burns, yo.
Absolutely.
For real. With that said, I'm Tony.
I'm still Dion.
Yeah, as usual.
As usual.
This is The Couch, Background Check Edition. Make sure you guys subscribe.
Absolutely.
To peep all the updates. Peace.